Hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome to our mindset session for Tuesday. I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. I am the one more thing girl. I don't know if any of you are like that, like one more thing. And, 2 seconds before I click the live button, I'm putting on my earrings, doing all the things. So I wonder if you guys do that too, and it's, on one hand, it's good because I get more done. On the other hand, it always adds a little layer of um, stress, when I'm always trying to get one more thing done. So come on in, tell me who's here. I can see Natalie's here and Christopher's here. That's awesome. Tell me who else is here. Vanny is here. Hello, hello, hello. And yeah, so let's dive in. I love these mindset sessions, and I usually think about them the day before. I think about what's happening in the group, what's happening generally, and I have a time of the day where. So if you guys don't know, I have chickens. I have 8 chickens. They all have names. They're pets. Abigail, Henrietta. They're little cuties, and one of them is named Charlotte. And when I go down to the coop at night, I let them free range and. Just for like 30 minutes, I go down there with them, keep them safe. And Charlotte always waddles over to me and she wants me to put her on my lap. So I have a towel I spread and I pick her up and I put her on my lap and I put my hand on her back and she goes zoop, like this, and she just sits there and it's so cute. But that's the time when I think about what I want to talk about with you guys the next day when I'm down at the coop relaxing with I call them chickerdoodles, my chickerdoodles. And so I today we're going to talk about motivation, and we're going to dive kind of deep into it. But let's do some housekeeping before we do. All right. So it looks like a lot of you have done it, but a couple of you still need to. So we're going to be giving away prizes. I want to be able to call you, not call you out. That sounds bad, but celebrate you that you're here and call you by name. And in order to do that, I'm using a tool called StreamYard. And StreamYard and Facebook need to connect to each other. And in order to do that, I need you to go over to StreamYard.com/Facebook and just click the button. So StreamYard.com, STREAM yard, YARD.com/Facebook, and just click that button and then I can see who's here. All right. Fabulous. So go ahead and take care of that now so I can give you a shout out. That's what I meant, shout out, not call out. Call out doesn't sound good. All right, good. So, this is just a quick 15-minute check-in because I want to help you get your day off right. And the reason we have these mindset sessions, during this week of training is the truth is I can teach you. Thank you, Tony, for the link. I can teach you, all of the things, all of the strategies, I can lay them all out. Like today, for example, I'm going to teach you how to get your business started and get clients flowing to you. And I'm going to give you a ton of information. I'm going to give you step-by-step examples. However, if I don't help you choose your thoughts, the thoughts that are going to serve you, it's going to be difficult to succeed, right? It's going to be difficult to succeed. And the first thing I want you to know, we talked about this yesterday, is that we all have negative thoughts every single day, like 100%. We do, and I call them chicken chatter. Because when my chickens are walking around all day long and they're especially Lillian and Henrietta, they crack me up. They're walking around going, the sky is falling and I need this and whatever. And I don't have no idea what she's talking about, but she's so funny, Lillian especially, because I'll chase her around a little bit to pick her up. Because when I do pick her up, she just purrs, but she resists it. It's so funny. But anyway, I call it chicken chatter. And the thing is that you're not alone and you're not different if you have this. And I want you to really take that in for a second, because here's the thing. I remember the day I realized everyone had the chatter. It changed my life. I was in my late 40s. It was around the time that I started my VA business and everything was kind of falling apart. Not the VA business saved it, believe me. But, it was just an interesting thing because I thought I thought I was alone. I thought I had to be alone. And what I learned is that I didn't. And that's everybody has these thoughts, right? So the thing is though, is that you need to shift the way that you're thinking or the strategies won't work, right? And so what I heard the statistic, and I'm going to repeat it all week because I think it's really important. 80% of business success is mindset, 20% is strategy. So that's why we spend so much time here in our training sessions, in our VIP sessions. And eventually, if you decide to join me in VA school, it's packed with mindset stuff because that is the whole part. That's the part that people keep hitting up against, right? Because you can't do the work if your mind is telling you all this crazy stuff. So before we jump in, Stephanie says 100%, and Wendy says yes. Yes, right? That's the thing. Wendy says most definitely it's what we do with those negative thoughts. You can allow them to impact you for a good reason or negativity. That's right. And we're gonna talk about that in just a couple of seconds. We get it backwards. We get so many things backwards. We torture ourselves, and then we wonder why we don't end up where we want to be. So that's what we're going to talk about this week. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure you guys know about the the VIP experience. All right, so the VIP experience is something you can sign up for to kind of up level this experience. Now, I want to tell you how it works. So when you sign up to become a VIP member, you can do that. This is backwards right here at VAVIPexperience.com right there. All right. You're going to have an extra hour with me in a small group group coaching setting at 2:00 every day. If you can't make it, you can watch the replays. The other benefit, besides having a whole hour to get your questions answered, is that you have all of the replays for all of the sessions for 90 days. Otherwise, they're going to go away on November 15th in the morning or November 14th, whatever Wednesday morning is next week. They're going to go away. So think about that. It's Zoom. It's not StreamYard where I'm just, we're talking in the comments. It's a conversation. Yeah. And Tiffany says the coaching session yesterday was great and informative. Awesome. Awesome. So definitely sign up for that. It's $27. Right? $27. And here's the thing. If you can't afford it, you're still going to get a ton of value in these sessions. All right. It's just an add-on for those of you who are able to do it. Good. Okay. So I want to talk about motivation. Motivation, and I'd love to hear in the comments, how many people think you have to be motivated to be successful? I bet a lot of you do. I bet a lot of you do. And so I want to start with the definition. I'm a big fan of definitions because, a lot of the chicken chatter that we all have is all this kind of stuff that's going on in our head about, what motivation is, what we do with it, how do we get it, all the things. Right. All right. So I'm hearing in the comments, yes, that's what I've been told. Yes, I do. Motivation. Yes. And Christopher says motivation comes after doing. All right. I love that. Okay. So all right. So let's start with the definition. All right. The definition of motivation is the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. Okay. I'm going to say it again. I should put it on the slide. The reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. Okay, good. Now, the reason one, all right. So a lot of people don't feel motivated, right? And that's because they haven't identified a reason that's big enough for them to act in a particular way or a different way, right? It's just kind of out there, but they're not really getting in touch with, it gets back to the why. All right. So I'm going to give you an example. Different from business, because sometimes I think it's easier to see the connections when we're not talking about starting a VA business. So, all right. So here's the thing. Let's say you want to lose 20 pounds. Okay. You talk about it constantly. You complain about your weight, whenever you put your clothes on or look in the mirror, right? You trash talk yourself constantly. Your doctor has told you that, some of the things that you're struggling with your knees or your back or whatever will definitely improve if you lose 20 pounds. And you air quote, no, you should, right? But you don't change your behavior because you're not motivated, right? Do you see how that works? I get it, right? You're waiting for the time to be right. You're waiting for it to be more convenient. So you keep putting off losing the weight. You keep trash talking yourself, and the cycle continues. It's like a whole cycle. And when you're in the process of all this trash talk, you might even gain more weight. I know this is absolutely 100%. I have done this. I have done this. All right. And, and so the thing is that you need to get in touch with your why, right? You need to get in touch with your why, and knowing your why is going to keep you on track, but it's got to be big and important and enough to keep you going. And I know for me, a lot of times what finally flips the switch for me is I just get so, pardon my language, freaking bored with the chicken chatter in my head that I just say, you know what? I am so sick of talking about this 20 pounds. I am sick of putting on my clothes and feeling squished in. I am sick of doing this. I'm sick of having conversations about food all the time. I'm sick of like lying to myself, because that's what happens. I have a day where I'm not intentional. At the end of the day, I think tomorrow, and then I'm good till 10 a.m., right? Because I don't put the systems in place and I don't have the why. Now, the same thing happens when you're trying to start a business. I want to start a business. I hate my job. Blah, 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 blah. I want to leave my 9 to 5. I want to be with my kids. I want to make more money. My mom needs me, all the things. But we don't really anchor in on the why in a way that gets us out of bed earlier, or gets us out of, keeps us out of bed at night, and you really have to get in touch with that in order for that to work. Now, you have to go further. Okay. You have to go further. So in order for the goals that you have in your life to come to light, to actually happen, you need a deadline. Right? And when you don't have a deadline, it's this always like, tomorrow. And that's not what really moves the needle. Now, I want to talk about support systems, okay? I want to talk about the concept of a support system. When you're making a big life change, like losing 20 pounds, it's no easy feat. So I want you to write this down, because a lot of you have heard this, all right? You've heard the opposite. You cannot rely on willpower. Willpower is not reliable. You can't count on it. It's fickle. It's a feeling, right? We can't rely on feelings when we want to make changes in our lives. So you need something that you can count on, and that's where you want to put a support system in place, okay? So first, you're going to need to make the mindset shifts and start to make decisions and behave as a person who is fit and healthy before you even lose the first pound. And that's tricky, right? Because here's the thing. The person who helped you gain the 20 pounds will not get you out of this. They don't know how. They're more invested in ice cream and potato chips, right? That's just how that works. And, when I was starting my business, I had 6 figures of debt, and I was making choices that were not serving me, right? They were not serving me. And, I needed to make a deliberate and conscious rewiring of my brain. Whenever I got scared about money, I had to calm myself down. And it wasn't easy, and it definitely took effort, but I turned myself around. And then I had to make a plan, right? I had to make a plan. So the thing is that the thing is that, you need to decide when you're going to lose 20 pounds. You need to decide ahead of time what you're going to eat. You need to make sure you have the food you've decided to eat in the house, right? You'll need to decide ahead of time when you're going to exercise, for how long, and what you're going to do. Nothing is left up to chance. And when you start a business, you're going to need to follow the same process. Okay. And it doesn't go away. It's not like you do it for a little while and then you're done. I do this every single day. Okay. So I know what my why is. And just, because just like losing 20 pounds, there is never a convenient time to start a business. I just have to tell you, life happens every single day, right? Now, the good news is that if you're waiting to feel motivated to start your business, now you can stop waiting, right? You can think of, you can't think yourself into a business. It takes action. It absolutely takes action. And most of the things that I do in my work life, no, most of the things in my life that work is what I'm trying to say, have nothing to do with motivation. I eat good food and exercise because I want to feel good. I attend networking events and meet new people because I want a thriving business. I learn to talk about my business so people can understand what I do, which I'm going to teach you today so I can have plenty of clients. So what's your why? Like, what is your get out of bed? No kidding. Why? Is it quitting your job? Are you tired of your boss? Like, you never want to commute again as long as you live? I get that. Sometimes I go out in the car and it's rush hour, this concept that I totally forgot about. And it's like, whoa, this is what people have to do, and then I remember all the hours on the bus, on the train, in the car. The car is the worst, right? Because your hands are tied in your brain and you can't read or do anything, So, maybe you want to be a VA and have a successful business because you want to save for your kids' education, so let's talk about the support system you'll need, and tell me your why in the chat. I want to hear it. I want you to make a claim of why this is important. Because like I said, it's not convenient. You don't just wake up one day and it's like, well, it takes time. If I just hang out for 6 months, I'll have clients. This will all work. I'm not really motivated. I don't really know, blah, right? It's got to be it's a much bigger effort than that. But boy, is it worth it, right? It's totally worth it. Now you're going to need to get clear about direction, what steps to take. And I'm giving you the first steps this week in our training. You're going to need accountability. So find an accountability buddy in the Facebook group and let me coach you. You're going to need to set priorities for each day. And I do not mean 25. I mean 1 or 2. I call it a focus list. It's a focus list. Like, this is what I'm doing today. Like, no kidding. And I'm not going to bed until it's done. And that's what I say to myself. I say in the morning, what is it that I'm going to do that I'm not getting into bed until it's done? And it's usually 1 or 2 things. And then you need to practice the skill of being focused, right? And you're going to need to learn how to manage your feelings, right? Now, this is tricky territory. Now, I am never, ever going to tell you to not feel your feelings or to not have them. But I will tell you that you get to decide how to interpret your feelings. You get to decide how you act on your feelings, because feelings come up all the time. Right. So I want to give you a simple example. All right. This does happen all the time, because it does. All right. So you're in traffic. It doesn't happen to me. It happens to the person usually driving me around, who will remain unnamed. Okay. You're in traffic. Someone cuts you off. You can decide if that person is a jerk, or you can think, oh my gosh, what if he's rushing to the hospital because his wife just had an accident? Right. Because either way, you're assigning meaning. Either way, you're assigning meaning. And the same thing exactly works with business. Your feelings are going to be all over the place. It's easy to get overwhelmed. It's easy to have shiny object syndrome and want to jump from thing to thing to thing to thing, but not get anything done, because that actually feels really productive, doesn't it? When we just jump around, oh, I got so much done today. But did you get the things done that are really going to make a difference? That's the thing. So today, I want you to get clear on your why. I want you to write it down, and I want you to put it in a place that you can see it and take action steps. This is my why right here. It's an orange Post-it. It's on my computer, and I look at it every day and I think, okay, that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. And it's big. And when I wrote it down, I thought, whoa, like, how am I going to do that? Well, I have help. I absolutely have help. And, and I want to remind you, because a lot of you think that in addition to motivation and willpower, you need confidence. Confidence is something that comes over time. All right. Confidence, and we're going to talk about that today in our training at noon. Confidence is something that comes over time. What you really need is courage. When you don't have enough confidence, you just need courage, right? You don't need to know all of the steps, but you need to know the next step. I say this to my daughter all the time. She's 22. She's graduating from college. She doesn't exactly know what she needs, what she's going to do. And I just say to her, you just need to know the next step. and then watch as the next thing reveals itself. But if you keep looking for it, it will be there, right? It will be. All right. So speaking of next steps, I'm going to give you your next step for today. All right. I'm going to give you your next step at noon today in training number 2. All right. I'm going to teach you a system for how to start your business and get a steady stream of clients into your business, whether you've been at this for a while or you're just starting out. So set a reminder, join me. Okay. Backward time math. What is that? I'm going to get this wrong. 37 minutes, I think. Join me in 37 minutes at the top of the hour. Okay. We're going to take this to the next level. Attend the group surprise. It's at 3:00 today. We're going to give away some amazing prizes. Remember to jump onto the VIP experience. If you want small group coaching with me every day this week, it's $27. We'll meet at 2:00 and you'll get the replay for all of the sessions for 90 days. All right. It's an exciting day. I love what I'm teaching you today. So don't miss a thing. Take care and bye for now.